Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief for May 18th, 2026. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief. As I'm getting set up here. All right. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Hope you all had a really good weekend. We had a pretty fun one, too, especially yesterday. We had several people over. We just had a enchilada dinner and just relaxed between church services. But thank you all very much for tuning in. There's a lot of news today. I'm almost almost spilled over to the 2 pages. Um, but so as we get started, don't forget to click that follow button as I am trying to finish waking up. I've been up for a while too, man. Um, Click that follow button, please, and then click that like button. Um, if you're not already a follower, we got our 151st follower the other day. Um, Go. We got 152. Okay, cool. Thank you, whoever you are. That was awesome. And then uh, click that like button for the episode and then chat. We got Covite for Life. He's already up and going this morning in the chat room. Come on down. Let's have some fun. Okay. I will repeat as much as I can. He gets in there. He likes to talk to people. My other a good friend. He's on vacation in Ohio. Yeah, Dayton, Ohio. He'll be back in about another week or so. But thank you very much for everything you've done for us. It's May 18th. And then hopefully y'all enjoyed Armed Forces Day, which is the third Saturday of every year on in May. All right. Matter of fact, I got to change my profile picture, but I put some good Army pictures up. All right. So America 250 for Sunday, May 17th, 2026. I'll do May 18th this afternoon on the JPA report. So, yesterday, and it turned out to be on a Sunday, was the very first day National Day of Prayer was observed inside the United Colonies. All right. So, that was the very first one. So that's what took place yesterday. And then uh, some other stuff happened today, but I'll cover that later on. All right. So now we have the armament shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the armament shop is Copper's Coast's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason, he can handle those classes. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the armament shop today on 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text 254 560 2023, or visit www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety our priority. Alrighty, onward to the morning brief. Okay, I know I'm not covering all this, but we'll get started, and then the JPA report will cover it in depth this afternoon. All right. So what we got? The Iran update, and then Project Freedom is currently underway. Technically it's suspended. They just got a blockade going on. So the president expected to have a sit room meeting tomorrow. Hamas's uh, commander Aziz al-Din al-Hadar, he was the 7th of October planner. He was eliminated this last weekend. Uh, the Ayatollah Khomeini named the new chief of staff, which happens to be indicted for like $5.6 million of fraud. Um, Khomeini has given the IRGC approval to participate in peace talks with the United States. Um, Iran attacked the UAE with 3 drones, and two of them were knocked out of the sky. One of them made impact on a generator at a nuclear power plant in the United Arab Emirates. And Saudi Arabia has raised the speculation of escalation because of these continued attacks on its neighbor. And Germany says that G7 is the right place to end the war. I disagree. The G7 has no place at all in this conflict itself. It's between the U.S. and Iran. Iran's either going to agree to our terms or they're going to face more destruction in their country. So that's my view. Um, Saudi Arabia intercepted 3 drones fired from Iraq, not from the government of Iraq, but an Iranian-backed militia that's inside of Iraq. Today, 81 vessels have been turned back to Iranian ports. Iran threatens to deactivate U.S. bases in the Persian Gulf. You can read into that one. As of about 45 minutes ago, Brent crude oil was trading at $110.51 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate was trading at $106.57 a barrel. And then the Dow Jones closed on Friday at 49,526.17. That's down 537.29. Now, about that real quick, about the Dow Jones. So yesterday was the 238th anniversary of the Dow Jones, right? Or the New York Stock Exchange. Did you know if you've ever wondered why the Dow Jones starts trading at Eastern time at 9:30 in the morning and closes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, right? It is because it is dictated by law that when it can open and when it can close. I never knew that. And there's still 8 original members of the New York Stock Exchange still part of the New York Stock Exchange. And there was one other thing. Oh, because oh man, it was on Fox News. I forgot her name already. Oh, okay. Well, she was talking to, believe, uh, Secretary of Treasury, but he was also talking about uh, tokens and digital trading and stuff like that. And oh yeah, they have to. You can only trade stocks on solid complete stocks. You can't do fractions of stocks also because that's the law. And being able to trade digitally with digital currency would allow them to do that. But that was some of the stuff they were talking about yesterday. All right. The things you know when you talk to me in the morning. Okay. I'm sorry. Uh, all right. Let's go on down to the brief. Today is primary day in Texas for the next week, for the next 5 days. Uh, Early voting for the Texas runoff takes place. The election day is May 26th. That's the day after Memorial Day. Uh, so this is who I would like to see get elected. That would be U.S. Senator Ken Paxton, for Texas Attorney General Mays Middleton, for Texas Railroad Commission Beau French, and for Coryell County Judge Rob Irwin. And then Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 3, Allison Fox. Those are the people that I'm looking to get elected right now, okay? Everybody else, roll the dice, pick your best person, okay? All right, so on Friday, this is probably going to go quick because we're already at 6:39. 30 minutes is not very long to do this. All right, so Friday, Supreme Court denies Virginia redistricting appeal. Matter of fact, it was fast. It'll be faster for them to make that decision than it is for me to read some of this. Okay. All right. So the Supreme Court on Friday evening turned down a request by Virginia's Attorney General and other Virginia Democrats to allow the state to use a new congressional map, which would have been expected to strongly favor Democrats in the 2026 elections. The denial came in a brief, unsigned order to reporters at 6:30 p.m. Um, on Friday, just 15 minutes after the court public information office distributed the reply Friday by Jay Jones in Virginia's Attorney General and other Democrat legislators. There was no public dissent from the order. The the effects of the order are likely relatively minimum because the Secretary General Abigail Spanberger had already indicated earlier this week that the state would not use the 2026 map in the upcoming elections. So she saw the writing on the wall. She didn't want to complicate the situation any further. But in Virginia, just like in Texas, the Attorney General is completely separate than the governor's office. So you may have a governor that I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and your Attorney General do completely opposite. All right, just so you know about that. All right, so this is not saying that they can't try again and then follow their constitution to get it done properly. But after the fiasco of everyone that took part in this referendum, and after the 70 to $100 million that was spent on this, I don't think the taste is very good to go down this road again. All right, because just to get the 51% of the vote that was originally for the yes, it cost the Democrats $70 million just to push it with advertising, and another $10 million just to produce the ballots for the election. The other $20 million came from Republicans fighting against it. Republicans still got $500 million in the bank for their efforts for this upcoming midterms, but the Democrats are deeply in debt. All right, so keep that in mind because that's a big thing. Now, the next issue, California. So the place. Let's see. Oh man, I can't remember. Okay, I was going to sing you the tune for what do you call it? Beverly Hillbillies. Upcoming Texas Tea, Black Gold. That is, and he loaded up the family and moved to California or something like that. Okay, well, in California, about I think it was about 9 months ago, they passed California Prop 50 because they were trying to counteract what Texas did legally. In our Constitution, in the Texas Constitution, we can actually redistrict it anytime we want because it's in the hands of our legislature. The legislature can convene redistrict seats in the among Texas if we want. We did, and we justified it because the influx of population inside of our state, and we can see that within our election system going on. All right, but California, they wanted to thumb their nose at Texas. If you could do it, we could do it. But one problem, they had an independent commission that sets their district boundaries, and to get around that, they had to pass their own referendum to temporarily redistrict for 4 years. Then it would go back to the independent commission, which is not so independent if you can overturn it temporarily, right? So they had theirs. It passed with like 65% of the vote. So everybody thought it was a done deal. but it's not. Some people took it to court. All right. So California's controversial Proposition 50, or they call it Prop 50, passed by voters last November as a Democratic countermeasure to Republican-led redistricting efforts in Texas, Florida, and other states. Is now on a collusion course with the Supreme Court. You didn't know that, did you? I didn't either. The measure empowered California's Democratic-controlled legislature to sideline the state's Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission and redraw congressional districts mid-decade. The commission, created by voters in 2008, was intended to curb partisan manipulation by placing map making in the hands of an independent 14-member focused on transparency and fairness. Backers of the Proposition 50 argued the move was a political necessity. California, they said, could not unilaterally adhere to neutral redistricting standards, while Republican-led states entrenched their own power through aggressive gerrymandering. Opponents, however, contended the new maps cross the constitutional boundary by relying too heavily on race in drawing the districts. That's the key phrase right there. All right. Now, with multiple federal lawsuits moving through the courts, the battle over Prop 50 has evolved into a high stakes constitutional fight. Challengers argue that California's maps violate the Equal Protection Clause because race allegedly eclipsed traditional redistricting principles such as compactness, continuity, contiguity, I can't pronounce it, sorry, and respect for existing political boundaries. As litigation moves closer to the Supreme Court, Prop 50 could become a landmark test of how far states may go in balancing partisan objectives with constitutional limits on racial gerrymandering. So, what they're talking about is this recent Voters' Rights Act overturned, where you cannot have majority minority congressional districts anymore, in which the person that drew up the maps for California for the state legislature repeatedly said to several people that they purposely made majority minority Hispanic Democrat leaning Hispanic districts into the new state maps to flaunt out the Republicans' initiative to maintain control of their congressional districts that they were elected to. So now you have congressional districts that have majority of a minority group just to get a Democrat seat, which that suit will win, and they'll have to redraw those seats again. All right. So we'll go over more of that this afternoon. Just want to give you a clue what's going on with that. If you were looking at my Facebook page this weekend, I was happy because I put up a post saying, "Bye bye, Billy." What I meant by that is Bill Cassidy came in third place. Senator Bill Kelly came in third place in a primary, which eliminated him. So in January, he'll no longer be the U.S. Senator. Okay, Julia Ludlow came in first, and then I forgot the name of the fellows. John Fleming came in second. It's the first time since 2012 that a U.S. senator lost their nomination for re-election. Matter of fact, the guy was Richard Lugar from Indiana, was the person that last lot, and it's right here in the paperwork too. I just saw it. Just 5.5 years ago, after he voted to convict Donald Trump in his impeachment trial. GOP Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana was sent packing by Republican voters as he ran for re-election. Trump-backed Representative Julia Ledlow and Louisiana Treasurer John Fleming topped Cassidy in Saturday's GOP primary, according to the Associated Press. The most results tabulated late in the evening. Ledlow stood about 45%, Fleming at 28%, and Cassidy at just under 25%, since no candidate got 50% plus one. Ledlow and Fleming will be in the runoff on June 27th. All right. So President Trump was really, really irate at Bill Cassidy and endorsed Julia Ledlow. He's the one that encouraged her to run in the first place, and she took it, and she came in first place. She should win in the runoff. The most saving face thing that Cassidy can do right now is to go ahead and tell his followers to go ahead and vote for her. Okay. So next. So it's a target-friendly environment. So the next target for President Trump was Thomas Cassidy. All right. Oh my goodness. It doesn't get any better. Fresh off his work to oust Senator Bill Cassidy in the Louisiana primary, President Trump made a call to action against Thomas Massie in Kentucky, urging his backers to vote out another one of his GOP critics and warned the rest of the party to align with him or risk Cassidy's fate. I'm telling you, don't mess with fire. Tom Massie of Kentucky, the worst and most unreliable Republican congressman in the history of our country, and are even bigger insult to our nation than Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, who suffered an unprecedented loss tonight by not even being allowed to run in the Republican primary. This is the first time such a thing has ever happened to a sitting U.S. senator. That's what you get when you vote to impeach an innocent man, especially one that's made it possible for Cassidy's Senate run, which is true. This is the first time. Oh man, sorry. Cassidy failed to advance in Louisiana's runoff. Let's see where else. I'll get more of this. He's saying if you live in that congressional district, vote for Ed Gallrein, Gallrein. And tomorrow is the primary in Kentucky. So tomorrow's election day. That's when you'll want to do this, okay? But wait, there's more, all right? So Lauren Boebert, she decided she wanted to go to Kentucky because she wanted to campaign for her friend Thomas Massie. Tell you, don't go against the president. President Trump on Saturday blasted Lauren Boebert, a longtime ally of the president, and threatened to back a primary challenger after she campaigned with Thomas Massie. Trump lashed out on Truth Social against Boebert, whom he previously endorsed for re-election, just hours after she campaigned with Massie. Is anyone interested in running against weak-minded Lauren Boebert in Colorado's 4th congressional district? The president criticized Boebert in supporting Massie, whose primary challenger, retired Navy SEAL Ed Gallrein, has Trump's endorsement. Boebert is campaigning for the worst Republican congressman in the history of our country. Thomas Massey of the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. Why do they call them Commonwealths? That's crazy. They're states. And anyone who can be that dumb deserves a good primary fight. Trump wrote, even though I long ago endorsed Boebert, if the right person came along, it'd be an honor to withdraw that endorsement and endorse a good and proper alternative. Just let me know, announce your candidacy, and I'll be there for you, he added. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Tell you. Now some news for Texas. Since I'm started with the news and I'm going into this, okay? So, every 10 years we get reapportionment through the U.S. Senate. So they do on the 10th year, every year, there's a constitutionally mandated census that must be taken in the United States, right? And within 2 years of that, we get new data, so new maps are made, so people can run for new congressional districts around the states, right? Texas is growing exponentially. They already told us we will get 4 congressional seats. We already know that. That's a fact, right? I am saying we should get about 6. All right. That is why I'm going to bring this up real quick. All right, before we run out of time here. The census is the U.S. Census Bureau with the Department of Interior, I think, does the census. Census funds majority of the 15th of the majority of the fastest growing cities in the U.S. are in Texas. Believe me, that's right. Just live here. You see how everything. We can't even build our roads fast enough. 8 of the 15 fastest growing cities in the U.S. are reported in Texas, according to newly released U.S. Census Bureau data. Fort Worth also made history, becoming the 10th largest city in the United States. Fort Worth is my hometown, all right? The populations of Fort Worth and Austin are also each surpassed 1 million. When I left Fort Worth to join the regular army, when I left in 1988, Fort Worth had about 365,000 or so people inside the city limits. It's over 1 million people now. While widespread national slowdown in population growth was reported between July 2024 and July 2025, according to the U.S. Census, Texas cities broke records. The 5 fastest growing cities in the country with populations over 20,000 or more were in Texas. That'd be Salina, Fulshear, Princeton, Melissa, and Anna. I believe Melissa and Salina and Anna are all in the upper northeast part of Dallas, Collin County areas. All right. Salina, located near Dallas, and I watched their kids play soccer last year for state championship, and they were good. Located near Dallas, was the fastest growing city in the U.S. Its population surged by 24.6% in 1 year. And since Salina is also the fastest growing city in 2023, rapid growth is nothing new for Salina. Fulshear was at 21%. Princeton, Texas, 18.1. Melissa was at 14.5. This is unbelievable, right? This is how you gain. This is why I'm saying we will have 6 congressional seats in the state of Texas. Okay, so it's almost 7:00. I'm out of time. We were going to cover this more in detail at 12 Central. Oh, man. Let me get set up here. We're going to do a raid into Vince. Don't forget to go vote this morning. I gave you all my list, okay? Remember Ken Paxton, Bo French, Mays Middleton, Allison Fox, and if you live in Coryell County, Rob Irwin. All right. So I will see y'all at noon Central with the JPA report. Thank y'all for letting me do a quick brief with y'all. Okay. I'll see y'all then. Let me hit enter. Okay, the raid has been initiated. 14 seconds. So this is James Pierce with JP's Morning Brief. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.